Good morning, all. In today's session, let us continue the discussion about the introductory part. We had discussed about what are the microwaves, what are the band, and what is the significance, then why they are called by that name, and regarding the antennas part also, the basic working of the antenna, you can see it on the screen, the basic working, the transition region, the transition device, we have discussed. And in the yesterday's discussion, in the previous class discussion, we have even covered this table, and one radio waves frequency band was a homework. One important thing I wanted to convey here is, in the microwave devices, you can see it on the screen. I've written here uh, regarding the development of the devices. Okay, so microwave voltages, they can be generated by using the transit time effects. Okay, I will explain this transit time effect. What is the transit time and what are the effects? What is this transit time effect in the further concept? Okay, so in this microwave devices, under this part, just a development is shown here, how the inventions, the development occurred. Okay, no need to bother much about it. Just the different devices, anyhow you are going to study all these. Today we are going to discuss a little bit, a block kind of thing for microwave systems. So any system, for any, even in case of a general communication part also, you have already studied PCS. So even in case of general communication, you have a block diagram, which gives you some input part. Okay, there you'll be having some transmitter, then in the input side you'll be having modulation part, then some processing over the channel, whatever the signal is there, it is transmitted. Then at the receiving side you'll be having a demodulator, and then you'll be having a receiver and some amplifiers, transducers, some general block here you might already know about it. Okay, so just like any general system, even microwave system has a block diagram. So let us just see what is that. Hope it is visible clearly to all. Okay, you can see it here. Just like any other common communication system or any system, here also you can see transmitting part, then receiving part, in between a medium. Okay, so in case of transmitting part, you have a microwave source. It is also a microwave device. It will generate the microwaves, so source, okay, which generates. Then some wave meter, it is there, calibrated attenuator. No need to worry about what each one is doing. Just remember that just like any general system, even microwave system has got a set of components connected together. So at the transmitting side, the important thing is you have to generate the microwaves, so you need a source. Then transmitting antenna you have. In the antenna, after this, the transmission takes place through waveguides. So waveguide means it is a medium, just like in the previous discussion I had given one example of water flow. Okay, for the water flow, for water connection transmission, you use pipes, okay, round pipes, circular pipes. So that acts as a water guide, right? So here wave guide, in the sense, it is a medium. It is a medium which will guide the wave towards the destination. Okay, and at the receiving side you'll be having some setups. Again, here also no need to bother what each actually the component or the device does. Some general system, microwave system, you should know how it looks like. Okay, you can see a microwave system. It consists of transmitter system, which includes microwave oscillator, that is generator, Then you'll be having waveguide, transmitting antenna. Then at the receiving side, you'll be having a receiver subsystem, which includes receiving antenna, transmission line or a waveguide, again to wave for the wave to pass. Then at the receiving side, as some attenuation might have taken place while transmission, you need microwave amplifier. So this is a general system, microwave system. Okay, now let us start with the first topic, that is transmission line equation. If you just go through your syllabus, let me just quickly show you. Okay. Microwave transmission lines, we have seen microwave frequencies, the band table, different microwave devices, that is the development, how it occurred, microwave systems. Then we need to cover this transmission line equation and solution. For that, for this particular concept, it is having a long derivation of the transmission line equation. So before going further into the derivational part, transmission line, what it is, and why you're using that, and what is the significance, how you're going to find the equation, everything is important for us. So let us start with this transmission line. Okay, so what is a transmission line? Anybody? I had given this example. ये जो road side में आपको ये जो cables मिलेंगे for your KPTCL, the lines, power lines, they are transmission lines, right? They are supplying the power from the KPTCL to your houses. So that is a transmission line. So imagining that, you can just try to formulate the definition. A transmission line is a two conductor cable. You'll be having pair of lines, right? Wires will be laid. You can see, roadside. You can just check out how they are laid. एक बार बाहर घूम के देख सकते हो आप. Two conductor cable that carry radio frequency, energy, in generally energy or power, from one point to the other point. So the main transmission, the main word it suggests, it carries. Okay, it acts as what? It is a conveyor. It will make you convenient to carry the things from one point to the other point. So there are basically two different types of transmission lines are there. One is balanced, the other one is unbalanced. No need to go into depth of these. I'm just giving you these general informations. You can see balanced line means two parallel lines are there, copper wires are there, two lines. You can see it on your roadsides. Okay, these kind of parallel lines, you can see it. Unbalanced is, the example is coaxial cable. This even I think in your homes TV sets, you can find this coaxial line, wherein again the structure has got two cylindrical conductors, one inside the other, the inside part and the outside part. In between, they'll be having some insulation. So there are basically two types of transmission lines, balanced and unbalanced. This is a general categorization. You can see this also. This is also one kind of transmission line. Have you seen this? I think it's very obsolete now. पहले जो TV sets आते थे, I had told you earlier when you used to have antennas on your terrace. That is called Yagi-Uda antenna. This kind of antenna you used to mount something like this, okay? And usko adjust bhi karte the. Somewhere here, some a box will be there. Somewhere here or here below, box will be there. You know if signal is not getting cached, so एंटेना का पोजीशन रोटेट करके आप you try to catch the signal. That was the setup. Okay, this kind of cable, this was being used for these kind of earlier TV sets. Now everything has been replaced with coaxial cables, and one more advanced after coaxial cable is this optical fibers. Okay, even that is a transmission line. So this is a obsolete one, very rarely used. So as a यहाँ पे in between यहाँ पे a thin strip रहेगा, here two parallel wires will be laid. Black color wire, you might have seen it. This is about some basics, जो भी commonly used transmission lines. I have given you the picture. Again here the same thing, it is repeated here. A transmission line, it will it will guide the energy, or it will carry the energy from one place to the other place. Same thing, power, even in case of transmitter or receiver, it is used. You can see it. जो obsolete wala, the black one, earlier whatever the transmission line used to have in your television sets, this one, something like this, two strips. These two indicates those two lines. In between you have a small thin material. You can see it here. This one, this section front view, it is first one. Okay, and the second one front view, it is a cross section coaxial cable, inside and outside, two cables. There are though two cylinders, the concentric cylinders, one inside the other. And this is one example of a waveguide. Okay, the structure looks something like matchbox, right? So a metallic box kind of things. These are available in your laboratories. You can have a view of these waveguides. Okay, there are different types of shapes available in waveguides. Here, this one example is a rectangular waveguide. The waveguide is also a transmission line, because it is facilitating the energy or the power or the electromagnetic wave to pass through. It is guiding that wave. It is guiding that wave go towards this. So it is giving a path. So waveguide is also a transmission line. Okay, this example is for rectangular waveguide. Similar to rectangular waveguide, you may have different types. One more is a kind of waveguide in your laboratory. You can see circular waveguide is also there, wherein the mouth of this waveguide is circular. Okay, now the circular waveguide, you can imagine your water pipes. Okay, I'll try to give some diagrams also, real images of these different waveguides and transmission lines if possible. Okay, so in generally transmission lines means two pieces of wires, right? See, core in coaxial cables, two conductors are there. Here also pair of conductors. In case of waveguides, it is a little bit different. The connections and all will be little bit different. But otherwise, in generally, what is a transmission line? You can imagine a transmission line to be two pieces of wire. So we can think of transmission line as being composed of different small circuit elements that are distributed along the length of the line. You will understand this once I explain you one circuit which is below. Once I explain that, you will understand the meaning of the sentence. Okay, you can see here this diagram. It looks like a ladder, right? It is not ladder. Let me draw it here. As I'm telling you, transmission line means pair of wires. So this indicates one wire. Just to show you, I have given you the circular shape. Okay, these two indicates two parallel wires running side by side. Okay, two parallel wires. These are actually the transmission lines. Now, what are these inside small boxes? I have drawn something here like this. These are actually the circuit elements. Okay. Now, you tell me, you have already studied network theory and you have already done many experiments in your laboratories, analog electronics, circuit labs you have already done. So tell me, what are the different circuit elements you have worked on? Whenever you design a circuit, I think you have done rectifiers, amplifiers, oscillators, then filters, what different circuit elements you have come across? Okay, Tayyaba, resistors. Good. The very basic component which you have worked on in the laboratories is resistors. Good. Good. Capacitors. Resistors, capacitors. Inductor. Very good. Very good. Hazra. Resistor, capacitor, inductor. Very good. So whatever these diagrams I have drawn here, the small boxes, they are all indicating the circuit elements. Now, you tell me, when you look around, okay, when the two cables are running parallelly near the roadside, ये जो बाहर आपको cables मिलेंगे power supply के लिए, वहां पे ऐसे आपको elements in between मिलेंगे wires में. Can you see these kind of elements in those cables physically? Can you see them? Integrated circuit. Okay, good. I see. Diode. Good. So now my question is, if you see it physically, जो भी power supply आपको मिलता है KPTCL के through, जो cables, transmission lines, जो roadside आपको मिलते हैं, those in those wires, whether these kind of elements are visible to you? No. Yes, very good. So you cannot see what I have drawn. They are just the what? They are giving the effect of that. If I draw something like this, okay? If I draw something like this in the pair of lines, it indicates, it doesn't mean that actually we are connecting one resistor, color coded, 1K, 10K, 1000K resistor in the cable. Okay, it is not, the meaning is not like that. It means it itself, because of its construction, because these transmission lines are made up of conductors, right? So obviously each material is having its own property. So depending upon the type of material used, so that material, it will offer certain resistance. So it is indirect. So it is giving you that feel that yes, there is, there exists certain resistance in that particular cable. So the meaning of these small elements, what I have drawn in between these lines, they indicate actually they are not present there. The passive devices, the capacitor, resistor, inductor, they are not physically connected there. They are giving the effect of those devices. There exists certain capacitance, because when two conductors are separated by a distance, and in between this distance it is filled with air, right? So dielectric medium is air. So what does this mean? Two conductors separated by a distance, in between you have a dielectric air. It means there is a capacitance. So this material indicates there exists a capacitance. Okay, but it doesn't mean that we are connecting a capacitance there. It is giving you the effect of the capacitance because of its physical appearance and the whatever. So understand, if I'm drawing the figure like this with these small boxes, these boxes indicates the circuit parameters: resistor, maybe capacitor, maybe inductor, anything. However, actually they are not physically present. They are giving the effect. Okay. Hope you understood this. Here again I have drawn few transmission lines by hand. I tried coaxial cable. You have a parallel wire, two line, two parallel conductors are there, balanced line. Then there is one unbalanced line wherein a single conductor is used and the other end is connected to the ground. Okay, and this is one transmission line, that is microstrip line. This comes in antennas part. Okay, antennas microstrip line, wherein this is your substrate and the dielectric. Substrate and the dielectric. This is a substrate dielectric. This is your microstrip connected. Okay. How you can imagine this? Try to imagine a wooden block. In between, like this, something like this, you etch it. Okay. From the chisel, you can etch this part, make a groove. In that groove you can use a different material, and in that groove जो भी खाली जगह हो जाएगी, वहां पे आप एक this microstrip line you can insert it. You can use this as a transmission line. Okay, so these are the different types of transmission lines I have shown. Okay, this circuit is important. This has to be understood first before going further for any of the discussions. Okay, try to understand this. It's a very simple circuit. You can see it. I've connected a voltage source, AC source you have. There is a voltage source connected. A and A dash indicates inside the input side end. Okay, just near the input feeder line. Okay, and B dash, these points indicate they are towards the output side, and there is a load connected to get the output. Okay, this is a simple circuitry. Now in your laboratories, what you work on, what frequency you have used? Can anybody tell me? The frequency used in your laboratories. Anybody, if you remember? Okay, no one remembers. 50 hertz. Good. I think आप ये बहुत generally even electrical में भी आप पढ़े होंगे. Most of the times in India, I think it's 50 hertz only. Okay. But if you go abroad, I think 60 hertz is there. Yes. Okay, so in this in the laboratories where you are using the circuitry, and when you are analyzing the circuit means what? You are studying the parameters, the behavior of the circuit. कौन सा component अगर आप ऐसे connect करोगे तो क्या output आएगा? You are analyzing, you are modeling the circuit. Okay, in your laboratories as an experiment purpose you have done that. Okay, so in the circuit analysis, whatever you are using the frequencies, they are all of low frequencies. Okay, so when you're working on the circuits with the low frequencies, one important parameter is whatever resistor, capacitor, inductor you are using, because in the circuit you use those elements, right? So when you're using those elements, you consider their electrical values. What do you mean by that? If I'm using a resistor, okay, in between here somewhere, okay, and there is one capacitor here. If I use something like this, I'll use say 0.1 microfarad. You are using the electrical value of the particular device. Resistor 1 kilo ohm. Okay, the values you are using, that is important for you. and with those values you are getting to know the behavior of the circuit, what will be the output. Okay, this you have already done it in your laboratories. Fine. Now if you observe the figure, I'm giving the AC supply. Okay, voltage source is AC, sinusoidal. Let me just show you. This is your sinusoidal wave, and assume that when I apply the input, say somewhere at this point, when I am at A dash, that is instantaneous value, somewhere the voltage is Vp. Assume when I supply the voltage, AC supply, which is a sinusoidal in nature, which has got certain time period T, at this point, when the input, the voltage is at this particular time instant, it is say Vp volts. Okay. Now, if I want to measure the voltage at point B dash, immediately I cannot get the output, right? There has to be certain delay. Immediately after applying the voltage, within within 0 seconds, I will not get the output. There has to be a certain delay. That too, after spending some time, after traveling certain distance L, at point B dash, I will get the output, which may be say VQ volts. Okay, not exactly same due to the circuit parameters. I will get VQ volts, not VP. Here at A dash, I have VP volts. At B dash, I will get, because the value is varying, right? It is varying. Hence, I will get some other voltage, say VQ volt. So between point A dash and B dash, there exists a potential difference. Okay, there exists a potential difference, and there, it takes certain amount of time, say TR, for this voltage to travel to the point B dash. It requires certain time. जैसे apply करते हैं AC voltage, within 0 seconds we will not get the output. It requires certain delay, certain time. After some time, we will get the output. We call this output, we call this time required as the transit time, and the effect is called transit time effect. That's what is used in your microwave devices part. I told you during the start of the class. I will explain this concept later. See, what is this transit time effect? Because whenever AC supply, whenever we apply the voltage, within 0 seconds, we will not get the output. After certain delay, after traveling a distance L, we will get the output, and that delay, the time, is called transit time. And because of this, there exists a potential difference between point A dash and B dash. Okay, there exists a potential difference between A and B. We call this as transit time effect. Remember, okay? Now, whatever I'm talking this is for low frequency circuits, जो आप labs में करते हो, smaller circuits, wherein your frequency value is very small. Now, when I'm talking about transmission lines, wherein, parallelly the circuit, the lines, the conductors are, too long. Okay, they are carrying the signal for too longer distances, kilometers. So the circuit, if you try to imagine, can you put a simple circuit like this for that two transmission lines, which KPTCL is using to give you the power supply at your houses? You cannot, simply tell some input, some two parallel lines and the output. You cannot replace that with such a simple circuit. What is important here is when the frequencies will become larger, because we are now dealing with microwave frequencies which are larger than IR. Try to remember the electromagnetic spectrum. In this spectrum, last one is radio waves. Before radio waves, microwaves are there. So frequencies are becoming larger. So what will happen? when the frequencies become more, whatever transit time effect I explained you just now, there exists a potential difference and there exists certain time delay, then you will get the output. This is more significant. But जब आप lab में experiment करते हो, your circuitry is small, your frequencies are small, so this transit time effect is negligible. Okay, you ignore it, you don't count that delay and all, because you're working on low frequencies. But when it comes to higher frequencies like microwaves, radio waves, this delay matters a lot, transit time effect matters a lot, the potential difference which exists between input and output points, they matter a lot. Okay, so this is very important point to remember. Whenever you are working on low frequencies, the transit time effect is negligible. Low frequencies means what? ये जो time period है आपका, you can see it, this time period, it is very the signal time period is very greater than your transit time. Delay बहुत छोटा है, you know, the in between input and output, जो आपको output मिलेगा, वो जो time delay है बहुत कम है, so you can neglect it. Transit time effect neglect हो जाएगा. But when it comes to higher frequencies, what will happen? I'll just show you here. Same thing I have written here, you can see it. T very greater than TR. TR is nothing but what? Time. Time is equal to velocity. Velocity is equal to distance by time. Okay. L by V. And T is 1 by F. Then V, let me take it here, V by F. L. V by F is nothing but lambda. So your wavelength is much greater compared to the length of the line. Okay. This is your, this condition indirectly says like this: wavelength is far greater than the length of the line. So remember, transit time effect for low frequencies we ignore, but for higher frequency we need to consider them. Okay. Now comes the transmission line equation solution. Okay. Do we have time